Eric, Dan, welcome. Thank you for joining. Robert,
Hey Brian, hi everyone.
good to see you all again.
Go.
Eric
Oh.
gets a shout out.
Bob, welcome. Yeah, I felt bad. There were some people that RSVP'd for this call before we changed the time officially. Bob, I think you were one. I'm like, I hope people don't hop on here Monday night and missed it, but
I
that
tried to
didn't seem-
communicate it a few ways. What can you do?
yeah. Yeah, and Christian is just getting off work, so he may not be able to speak right now.
Oh, Gabrielle, thanks for joining. Welcome.
Gabrielle.
Thank you.
Yeah, we spoke too.
Yes, we did.
Great.
We're working
Thanks.
on it.
Right.
Next week.
Yes.
I'm glad to
Yeah.
see you tonight, though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just got back from vacation, so I had a ton of stuff. So I'm like, let's push it to next week.
Perfect.
This is the time to do a vacation. Okay, Peter shared Yang's podcast in the chat. That's good. Check that out. Yeah, thank you all for joining. I think we'll get things started here. Thank you for joining our September statewide call. We're going to go through some things tonight. It's election season, right? It's no question what we're talking about.
Oh, I think he
election-
means the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's just real quicker.
It's election season, big opportunities for us. This year, we can become a minor party and have a lot of momentum going into next year. We have candidates on the ballot this year in just 6 weeks. And there's ways to volunteer that we're going to talk about. So yeah, we couldn't be more excited. You know, we've been working for like 2.5, 3 years to get to this point. And people in other states have had their obstacles to overcome, but here in Pennsylvania, this is the main thing we've been trying to do. And this is the time that we could do it. We're supporting our candidates. We have 5 great candidates to support this year. And by doing that, we let people know who we are and we get good people in office. That's the whole reason we're here, right? By getting 2% of the vote on a statewide race, including 2% in 10 different counties, we'll be recognized as a minor party. And we have 2 chances to do that this year. And every Pennsylvanian will see 2 forward party candidates on the ballot this year. It's a great way to give people, you know, the mail-in ballots are going out like this week or as early as this week. So over the next few weeks. And when people get their statewide ballots, there's a lot of people that go through and look at everybody and Google who is on the ballot. I know I do that. And when they see forward party, they'll say, oh yeah, I remember that. I've heard that word, or someone asked for a signature a few months ago for that petition they were getting. And, you know, oh, isn't that Andrew Yang? I remember him. And they'll Google us and they'll look us up. That's a lot of attention. So, you know, on social media and things, if you can get the word out there, that's just another time that they're hearing about it. There's a great way to add to our numbers. Yeah, here's the statewide candidates. Eric, who's on the call tonight. Chris, Eric and Chris are both running statewide races as forward party candidates. There's also Valerie Gatos, who is actually a sitting state house, state house of representatives member, and Cameron Troy, who's running for state senate, and Dan Almoney, who is running for the state house. So they're a great group. So if you live in the areas for Valerie, Cameron, or Dan, make sure you get out there and support them. Share their stuff on social media. And Eric and Chris, everybody in the state can support them. So So we're happy to have that opportunity. So before we move on, Eric Settle is of course on the call. I'll let him talk anytime he wants, but I want to introduce Dan Duprat, who some of you haven't met yet. He's working on Eric's campaign. Dan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Dan. I'm working with Eric as his volunteer social media manager. So if you're interacting with him on social media, then you're probably interacting with me, unless it's LinkedIn, which he owns his own LinkedIn. He didn't want to relinquish control on that one, and I don't blame him. But I do have some action items for everybody tonight. I'm going to pop some links in the chat, and I would love if while you're sitting here, you take the opportunity to click on each one of those if you're on that platform: LinkedIn, Instagram, X or Twitter, and Facebook. Go like and follow those accounts. And then I have a few more requests for you. I would love it if anytime you see Eric's posts on social media, if you're scrolling and they pop up, please interact with them. The best thing that you can do for Eric's algorithm is to like it and comment it and share it. If you don't want to share it, okay, that's fine. Not everything is going to be relatable for every single person, but please like it and even just drop an emoji on there. Drop the fire emoji or something like that, because everything you do, every second that you spend looking at his content, it tells the algorithm, it says, hey, people want to see this content, and it will then surface that content to more people. And that's how we want to reach people, is continue to get used in the algorithm and get the message out there. We're working on some more content to keep pumping stuff out there, but always feel free to share anything to Eric's account. If you think it's a good thing that Eric should share or comment on, send it to him in the messages, and it will get to us. And you guys reposting things helps things. Actually, Andrew Yang just reposted Eric on Twitter just yesterday. So he's gotten a little bit of activity there and some new followers, which was really cool to see that right after we talked on the call earlier this week. That was very exciting. Felt like we manifested it. So let's manifest 2% of this vote. And you guys are going to be part of that. So I'm going to drop the action into chat as well, and I'll take any questions and then I'll turn it over to Eric. Okay, no questions. Eric, you want to inspire us?
Right.
Or something?
Sure. Thanks, Dan. Hey, listen, everybody, I really appreciate everybody being on the call today. And Dan, it's not that I don't trust you with my LinkedIn account. It's the one that's easy enough for me to figure out. So, but Dan's point is really important one, which is your ability to take my material and send it out to your folks is going to get our name out there. And, we're on, as Dan is sending around, we're on a bunch of different platforms, and we're going to keep putting stuff out for people to see. We've gotten some good content. There was a really nice article 2 days ago in City and State magazine, which is a Harrisburg-based publication. I did an interview for PCN, which I don't know, we've sent the link out because we're waiting for an initial link. But so obviously there's a social media aspect to this. And for those of you who want to get more involved with the campaign, please go to my website, Eric Settle, 4ag.com. Click on the volunteer button and let us know that you want to help. We're trying to figure out different ways for people to help. We're in the process. We've ordered lawn signs. I know a number of people have reached out about that. It's busy season in lawn sign world, so it's taking a little longer than we hoped. But we expect to have lawn signs in the next couple of weeks. We have to figure out how to get them to people, and then ultimately for election day, how to get them to the different parts. Where again, the third part of this is obviously talking to people. If there are events you guys know about that I might be able to come to, please let me know. Email me, email Dan, email Rafe D'Amico, who's my campaign manager, so that we can be in some places. And then, pencil in, it's not too far away, pencil in election day for, you know, as much time as you can dedicate on that day, and we'll get you the materials you need, you know, whether it's palm cards or lawn signs, so we can support you in the polling place. Because look, here's the thing about this election, and I've talked to voters all the time, that everyone knows what they're doing in the presidential race. Everybody may know what they're doing in the Senate race, but they don't really know about what they're going to do in the AG race. And the fact of the matter is that, you know, we can, by saying to people, wouldn't it be good to have an independent attorney general? People nod their head and go, that makes sense. And when they're done filling in those first two circles, the very next circle is me. So we're, you know, we talk about ballot position. The truth is, being third on the ballot means that people can find us before they get exhausted. So I'll stop here. If anybody has any questions, happy to answer.
Yeah, Robert.
Yeah, I have a question here. Just wondering how you feel about being kind of considered like like what if your name was synonymous with independence? Like it seems like there's almost 1 million independent voters, there's 3.5 million Democrats, 3.5 million Republicans. If we keep putting your name and like independent voter together like all the time, maybe when people, because a lot of people do consider themselves independent, even though they're not registered as independent. So I was thinking that could be a way to kind of help bring your name recognition out there as an, oh, the guy, he's pretty much independent and also forward. So like what kind of, like any kind of like marketing strategy that could be used, or is
So
that
you're
kind
thinking, so Robert, you're thinking sort of like a search engine optimization?
right, in a sense, like that. So maybe if you say your name and independent all the time when you put it out there, so when someone Googles, let's say independent and Pennsylvania Attorney General's race, then all of a sudden maybe you'll show up first. It just could be at this point it seems like because it's not like it's a 50-50 shot already, you know, we're just trying to break into that 2%. So like I think a lot of things can kind of we could try a lot of things.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea, Dan. That, you know, maybe you and I should talk about how we encourage that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's a
it's good.
good,
That's a good idea.
a good idea to work into stuff we're putting on social. And Eric, I think that would be a good thing to get in the title of your website. Get the word independent for the search engine optimization purpose.
Great.
Okay, well, let's figure out, you know, let's off the call, we'll try to figure out how to implement that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Bob, what do you got?
Yes. Someone is saying there's a commercial going around, and Dan, you need to know about this too. There's a commercial going around, at least in our area, that says there's only 2 candidates for Attorney General. What are we going to do about it?
When people get their ballot, they'll look and they'll see more than 2. I'm not sure what the number is, but they'll look and they'll say, "Oh, no, I have other options. I don't have to
Yeah, but
elect."
Yeah,
one of
no,
them."
but so Bob, look, I don't know. Look, obviously in political advertising, things are not necessarily true. Okay. So right, there are more than 2 candidates, obviously. And obviously, you know, what Dave Sunday is trying to do is basically box me out, because the other ones I don't think, and I don't know the right answer. I think, you know, a letter, you know, a citizen letter to the TV station that says this is misleading, you know, that might help. An op-ed in your local paper that says, a lot of you have been seeing articles that says there's only 2 candidates. That's not true. I mean, that's something that I think could make a difference. Again, it's all about getting, you know, that message out there that there are more. Look, the truth is, the article that I talked about that was in City and State, you know, literally starts with, you're hearing that there's only 2 candidates, but in fact, there's a third one you should look at. And so that's an important article in your social media. And frankly, I've been sending it to some media folks as a way to say, hey, we're here too.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. I don't know if I should be doing that or if you or Dan should be doing that.
Well, in other words, it's like, again, a citizen who's not the candidate, like my credibility is low because I'm complaining, hey, I'm here, but a citizen says, hey, I know there's more than 2 candidates.
Hey,
So-
Bob, I think I think Eric's right that an op-ed to your local paper is probably the best way to go. And I would encourage you to do that to whatever paper is most local to you. And for those of you that haven't used the tool, ChatGPT is a great free tool that if you're not confident in your writing skills, you can give it some points, some poorly written points. Say you can copy and paste some information from Eric's website and say, this is the candidate I'm supporting. And then you can give it your own reasons. You say, I'm supporting him because of X, Y, and Z. And this is why I think other Pennsylvanians should support him. ChatGPT will give you a nicely written, correctly formatted, and correct length for an op-ed, because a lot of op-eds have specific lengths that you need to submit, certain word limit. So that's something, if you all did it right now, you'll be done with an article by the time this call is over. So it's really easy to go to ChatGPT and get that done.
Yeah, Rachel.
Yeah, so I put my hand up and I put it down because I was kind of going to comment on some of that too. So op-eds and letters to the editor, depending on if you're responding to something, is a great thing to do. Norma has submitted a few. I have submitted a few. I'm going to do another one to this very point. We're in the Philadelphia market, however, and I do think that I have tried to submit I just submitted one to out in Erie, and they asked for my address, and I just don't know if they'll even consider me. So I would definitely put the word out for your local papers, again, especially if you're near a small county or a paper that reaches multiple counties. That would be great. Really, for the things that we can do to answer your question about hey, people think there's only 2 candidates. It all circles back to the topic of this night, which we're going to list again. Dan did it really nicely. All of the things that you and everyone who hopefully watches this recording or calls into the next call can do. Because Eric's out there hustling and Dan and Raph are supporting him. But your social media that shares everything reaches a whole different crowd than their social media. Relational canvassing, if you've heard that, talking to your friends and relatives and neighbors who live in Pennsylvania, multiplies your vote. There's even something called vote tripling, which sounds like cheating, but it's not. It's just a mathematical concept where if I commit to getting 2 more people to vote for Eric and Chris, my vote becomes 3. And if I ask them, it's such a simple lift. How can I help a candidate? It seems like I'm not that political or my neighbors won't like it. There's some things that people aren't going to be as comfortable with. So what we're trying to do is offer this menu of options, right? So you can place a yard sign, but if you don't want the people to know that that's your house and you're not 100% D or R, then place it near a school or place it near a busy intersection or place it, there's rules and laws and stuff, but it's easily researchable and we should actually have that handy. But your neighborhood, your county. So putting them at a busy gas station where there's car drop-off intersection, where there's all of these things. I really think that those things get the name out there, and it's going to say Eric Settle for Attorney General, and better than that, there's no better way to get people to realize there's more candidates. So couple other things since I'm already talking, other things that you can do, Eric touched on this, but being willing to give a few hours on election day, and we say go to your polling place, go to any polling place. If you don't want to see your friends and neighbors, if it's easier for you to get at 5:30 off of work and go to the nearest polling place, they're all in Pennsylvania, unless you work in New Jersey, Ohio, or New York. But any of these things will work. And in that case, we want you to have something to hand. Consider voting for an independent-minded attorney general. Hand it to them. If they have to wait, if they have to do anything, they'll see it, they'll read it, and they might just check it. And then, of course, you can sign up directly with the campaign. They'll give you these types of ideas as well. And then later in the call, Brian, I think, wants to talk about some of the national resources like Call Hub, where volunteers from other states, which is not us, can help us with text banking and things, which we can do. My question for Dan and Eric, and I guess Brian and Christian, is how do we make sure we get onto that Call Hub? So there was a training last night and you could click on join a campaign. And I don't think we're quite signed up with that yet. So I just want to make
So-
sure we connect those dots.
Yeah, I was gonna go to Call Hub and last night's call next.
Okay,
Maybe
perfect.
we'll get into that and lay out what was covered. Are you okay to keep walking through these screenshots that you took?
Yeah, the question though still remains that like, if we don't
Right.
get our candidates on there, then we're just helping other candidates.
Right, right. So for those of you that were able to join last night, I know it was kind of different. We walked through Forward National's volunteering platform, right? So they're using a tool called Call Hub for text banking, phone banking, and canvassing. So yeah, it's being spearheaded by Carrie Ann Templeton. If any of you received text messages recently about volunteering in Pennsylvania or for Forward or emails, this is who this is. She's really great, and she's putting a lot of energy into this and rolling it out. So last night was kind of the first call where they outlined this. So Rachel and I were going through earlier to get this set up. So we're going to show you what this looks like to get logged in for the first time. Rachel, why don't you tell people what we're seeing here?
Okay, so on the call last night, they went really quickly through like login, and if you've gone to Forward websites before, you actually might be to your advantage not to have, because I think sometimes it had defaulted me to other things I looked at. But when you get to this page, if it doesn't say sign in and you do have a Forward, you must have a Forward party sign in because you're getting all of our emails, then click on this join us, and then volunteering is the drop down for that. And then when you hit volunteering, you'll see campaigns. And I don't know if this is all the screenshots in order, but once you then complete this training, it's 4 minutes long. So I definitely encourage you to do it. It just kind of explains the screens that you'll see in the platform. So it can be from your phone or it can be from an iPad or a device. It's most often going to be probably your phone, but it does not have to be. Then once you complete the literally 4-minute training, when you go back, you'll see more things. You'll be able to sign up and your account will be activated, and you can then choose a campaign, which obviously we like to steer people to this campaign, but we can help in other states, and more importantly, folks can help us from other states.
Great, thank you. So there's people in every state that are signed up and Forward, but there's not candidates and campaigns to help in all the states. So this is especially good for people in those states to be able to help people with campaigns. But it's even more important for like Pennsylvanians to be talking to our own neighbors. So if you can get involved with this, that'll be great. Text messages, phone banking, this is all great ways to get the word out. And canvassing is a whole nother part to it. So we're going to be working, I'm not sure, to create Pennsylvania campaigns in this platform, and we'll have people helping from all over the country. So we're really excited about that. We have links and all the things that we could share for that. You've probably received emails to this about helping with this. Maybe somebody else could put the link in the chat for the main volunteer page if you haven't already been there. The next thing that is a whole, we could have a specific conversation with anyone that's having any challenges with that. The next thing that the next opportunity that we have that's already kind of been covered tonight is getting out the word on election day. So like Eric was saying, these people are persuadable when they're walking into the polling station on election day. And if you think you're tired of the presidential election now being in Pennsylvania, wait until election day and everyone's going to be ready for a new option to present itself. And if you can say, have you heard about the Forward Party? We're trying to get polarization out of politics. Vote for Eric Settle and Chris Vaughn. People are going to be receptive to that. And if you can work your local polling station, we'll get you materials. We don't, like Eric said, we're getting some of that figured out still. I have a form here that I could roll out. It's not 100%. We're still figuring out the details, but if you fill out this form, you can request the materials and we'll be in contact and we'll get them to you. I'll put that in the chat. And also, if you can commit to working your polling place or a polling place near you, we are also, we'd love to invite others to join you. If you can say, hey, I'm going to be at this polling station, we can create an event and email the people around you to say, hey, Rachel's going to be at this polling station. Can you join her? And, people are more likely to help if there's already going to be someone being there. So 2 is better than 1. And if you're really willing to help, we'd love you to organize your area. You can help us distribute materials. As we have requests, we can mail things to one person. That's definitely cheaper than to each individual person, and you can distribute them. And then you can be a point of contact for volunteers to help, know who's at what polling station. We need local organization for these sorts of campaigns. So if you're willing to be involved in that way, we want to talk to you. And we want to give you what you need to succeed on election day. So yeah, this is what we need right now, and we've been working for almost 3 years to get to this position. So hope everyone can help. Does anyone have any questions? Any comments about volunteering? Okay.
Quick
Okay.
question.
Yeah, Robert.
So how do we feel about the 8 o'clock national phone banking party? Because it so happens to be on usually I guess it's every Monday though. It's every Monday. So it doesn't exactly have to move our state meeting.
Is that what you took away from that? I took away that the Monday call was next Monday. Is it going to be every Monday?
I thought they were just doing it all the time, like just trying to get people, and then whoever gets, I guess they're just trying to build the national energy. And the idea, I believe, is for East Coast people to call, like, let's say people in the Midwest or something, where it's like 6 o'clock, or like, maybe California at 5 o'clock. If it's 8 o'clock here, instead of us at 8 o'clock calling us at 8 o'clock. But maybe we just put it out there. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I guess Monday we would learn more if we tune in. I don't think there's any conflicts this particular Monday.
Yeah, it is recurring every Monday they're doing it until election day.
And apparently you can get some free swag. So you get on there a couple hours, you kind of tally your hours up. What did they say? You can get some shirts, you can get some pins, and as far as it goes up, I guess. We'll get more information later.
Hey, at one point I offered to buy a t-shirt to anyone that collected over 250 signatures. I'm not sure how many t-shirts I owe people, but gotta get that
Maybe
out.
if you could write like an equivalency, maybe Carrie Ann would honor it.
Hey,
Like
maybe.
equivalent to 30 hours. That'd be amazing.
Okay, so let me share this form, this Google form I created for requesting materials. You can all be the first ones to fill it out. So if you'd like materials for either election day or canvassing before that, please click on this form and answer the few questions, and you'll be on a list of people that we are figuring out how to get materials to. We'll get this process more figured out by the time I include this in, say, a newsletter or something like that. But yeah, if you could fill that out, I'd appreciate it. we also have, I'll share the link for the volunteer sign up page with National that we were talking about earlier. By filling that out, that's the first step to get involved with all the calling and texting that we were just talking about. Yeah. Okay, anybody else, any other topics people want to bring up? There's a lot going on in the news, podcasts, anything like that?
I was just gonna mention, if you like something sounds good to you and then you've got like, oh, I don't know how to do it, or what were they talking about, or how do I access like Pennsylvania at forwardparty.com, that will go to Brian and he'll disseminate it to somebody, or my email was in the chat earlier, like just reach out. And some of us have done a few things, and if we don't know how, we know who to ask to help you get it done. Because I think once you start pulling the trigger, you'll realize that like anybody can really do any of these things. But the first time it sometimes can be intimidating.
That's for sure. Thank you, Rachel. Okay. Well, if you have ideas about interviews or events that Eric could do to get the word out, we'd love to hear it. You can send those on over to Eric's campaign or through the Pennsylvania Forward Party email. We'll get that to him. Tell your friends. We appreciate all your support. Thank you all for joining tonight.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, everybody, for all your help. We got, you know,
Bye.
what, 49 days to move Pennsylvania forward.
But who's counting?
Who's counting, right? All right,
Thank
bye,
you all.
guys. Thanks
All
for
Bye,
all
right,
the help.
everybody. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
So exciting. All right.